Welcome once again to Talking Horses. We're at the absolutely beautiful looking MEYDAN Hotel, this time sitting outside looking over the track to discuss the 6 races at MEYDAN this week. Last week, not a bad start for me. I got 3 winners.
You did very
Quite
well.
impressed with that.
You did very well.
Yeah.
I tried to give alternatives, so that didn't help me very much to have winners, did it?
No, but I do think if I stop picking my own horses, my percentages will be quite good, because if I take the 2 races with my own horses out, I've got a 75% strike rate.
Well, it's best to be pessimistic, isn't it?
Well, you've got more chance of being correct.
Yeah. No, I think it's good to have your optimism. You know what I mean?
Optimism.
For your optimism for your own horses, that you really want to have a good season, and it will come. You know, it will come.
No, we've got chances. Well, we've got a couple of runners, well, a couple of entries over the weekend. But let's start off with MEYDAN race number 1. It is the MEYDAN. It's obviously all on the all-weather this week, which in itself is a tricky track. It's a bit like Jebel Ali. Some horses like it, some horses don't. The MEYDAN market, it's not an easy one.
No, we've got a couple of horses with fantastic ratings in this race. Dar Rashid, who ran at Jebel Ali last week, and a bit disappointing, I thought. I can't see him pulling around his rating to win this sort of race. And also Tabawi, who's ran at MEYDAN a couple of times. Ran good on the turf, but the all-weather not so good, I think, and that could find him out again. But I've gone for a horse I saw on a stable tour on Tuesday at Musab Al Mahiri's, and they quite like this horse. It's never run. It's called Comicality, and it's been ridden by Dane O'Neill. The first time, they think they've worked. I think they think they've worked it out because they've got a first-time visor on its first run. And I watched this very carefully because in Arabian racing, Ernst Ortel, who was the champion trainer last year, he runs all these horses with equipment on first time out, and it seemed to work for him last year. So I'm not worried by that.
Okay, I mean, my gut instinct on that is I would struggle to back any horse that first time out has already got equipment on. Purebred Arabians are a completely different breed,
Yep.
And most purebred Arabians probably work better with some equipment.
What I'm trying to tell you, which I didn't really mention, is this is a 5-year-old and not one, right? So basically, it's been trying to run for many years, I would say, don't you?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Well, we'll go with the first thing that. What would put me off? Number 1, Wayne Smith's not on board.
Yeah.
He would get first choice, so that'll definitely put me off there. I've got no issue with going with the horses that haven't ran. I proved that last week.
Yep.
Horses that haven't ran usually have good chances in these early season maidens because, let's be honest, I mean, I said it last week, and I stand by it. I didn't think the horses with form last week, Dar Rashid had been one of them. I didn't think the form was particularly good,
No.
which is why I went for Satish Sumar and Richie Mullen. I had heard that horse had been working well. Nice little plug for the stable tour there, by the way. If you are in Dubai and you fancy going for a stable tour, Mark Moncaris is now doing those for you. So we'll take you around different stables, the track, show you the weighing room, all that kind of stuff. It's definitely worth a visit. I remember coming on them when Mike Hitches used to do them, and that was a proper giggle. I like number 12. I know what you said about its form on the all-weather, Tabawi. But look at the races it ran on the all-weather. One of them was a listed company over 19.
Yep.
On breeding, I would suggest that's probably just a little bit too far. You go back 3 races, the one where he was 10 lengths beyond soft falling rain, that's actually good form.
It's good form.
On bare
I
facts.
agree with you. I just feel sometimes with this type of track, you either perform in it or you don't.
Ready for tomorrow?
Ready for tomorrow, we are. Thank you very much. It's a track where if you can't perform on it really,
Yeah.
I think you don't.
If you don't like the track, you haven't got a chance.
But he went on the turf here and he ran well, yeah, and that's what I like. 5 races behind Elivel, which is
Who was second or third on World Cup, was he?
he ran well.
Yeah.
And, a horse from Ireland who was here for the carnival. That's good form. But what worries me is they've gone for this easy price. Are they being clever or are they being a bit desperate?
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's not many opportunities to go for maidens on the turf. You know, you're not going to get many opportunities. This could be a weak maiden again. The horses with form don't look spectacular. If you're going to go for ones without form, obviously you've mentioned Dane O'Neill's mount. you've got to give a shout to returning hero, Satish Umar,
Yeah.
Richie Mullen.
Yeah.
They proved it last year, many occasions. Again, this is another 5-year-old. Being a Dubawi, he should like the track.
See, he's got a tongue tie on first time out. See, and that's why I'm not worried about this thing.
Tongue ties are a bit different from visors. I mean, visors light them up.
I can agree, but what I'm saying that in this country, I think it's more feasible that you've got an older horse running first time. You probably know what's going to help it from a lot of work you've done to this horse.
Okay, I'll go with that. But tongue ties, I think, are different. Tongue ties, because their tongue flops out. Visor, you put a visor on a horse, it's to make them concentrate and speed up. And it's a 7-furlong race. The speed won't hurt. So,
True.
Your selection, you're going to go with?
I'm going to Convicality. I saw it yesterday and they did tip it to me, so it's a tip in itself as far as I'm concerned.
I'll call Wayne then and see what he thinks before we.
But I wouldn't pick his mount at the moment. I really wouldn't.
No, but it worries me. The only
wins.
reason I can see, well, none of them have ever won. That's why it's a maiden. the only reason I can see him selecting it is because it's had a run. It'll be a little bit further race fit. But as we said last week, you wouldn't worry about that with Satish, Masaba, or Ali.
But this track will find him out. It might suit him.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Might
it might
suit
suit
him.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm not a fan of Dar Rashid. I did for the paper. I ticked the Barwi, and I think the second choice, if you're going to have a little bit of interest, and it will depend on the prices for me. When I see the prices come up, I'd like to see the price of Satish Simar and Richie Mullen, returning hero. Both have chances, and to be honest, I wish them both luck. But I'm going to stick with the Barwi.
Good.
Or Tabawi.
Tabawi. Okay. Number 12.
Number 12. That's race number 1. Myself, Justin Byrne, EE Racing Club, and Mark Monkhouse, ComeRacingUAE.com. Check us out, and we'll be link next door for race number 2.